Strap into your seats and get ready. It's time for the Mortarpod.
Hey guys, Alex Stevenson, Jake Face here. Welcome to this week's episode of the Mortarpod. We're a few days late. I was out of town. I just got back. And we're just going to carry on and put this up. So this is the first time we've been like 3 days late on a podcast, I think, since we started doing it weekly. So I apologize for that. But the good news is we have a ton of Born of the Gods spoilers to do for y'all. So before we start that, just quick plugs off the top. Go to SeemsGoodMagic.com. That's my website where I post draft videos. And Randy Nixa, a friend of mine, also has started posting again recently. So if you remember his videos from probably like, I don't know, a year ago maybe? Yeah. Maybe about a year. And then he started posting some cube videos, and they're pretty entertaining. So go check those out. SeemsGoodMagic.com. I've also got standard, modern, and legacy decks that I'm playtesting currently. And like I said, I was on vacation, so I haven't recorded any videos for the last probably week and a half now. It's been a while. So anyway, SeemsGoodMagic.com. Go visit the website. Also, browse my eBay store. I've got a lot of playsets and singles that you can look at, and I've got good prices, so check that out. Yeah, let's just jump right into the Born of the Gods spoilers. I think everybody's excited to hear about these. So we're going to do it in order of when they were spoiled. Yeah, in order of spoilage. So we've got Faded Conflagration. 1 and 3 red instant. It's a rare. And it's going to be a promo card. And it deals 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker, and then if it's your turn, scry 2. So we were just talking about how it's a red answer for just played Elspeth or Jace, and I do like that. I think that's good. What do you think about this card?
I really like it. I think that the scry 2 aspect of it is kind of like a moot point almost. I don't really see the benefit of playing it on your turn unless you are in top deck mode already, you know, and you're just keeping them off of each threat that they play as well, you know.
Yeah, the weird thing is I almost feel like this card is going to be played sorcery so much more often than it's played instant, because like red just wants to get by blockers, I would think.
Yeah, as far as for a red, like a red deck wins, I guess, style deck,
or yeah, I guess you're right. For like a blue-red deck, though, playing it at instant speed would be pretty good.
This is actually a really cool card for a blue-red control deck. Actually, you know.
And you still get turn and burn too. So you've got some good removal.
Removal that stops really big threats. I like it.
A little bit red intensive. We were talking about how you probably should be able to hit a player with it for 3 red.
Yeah, or just make it a little spicier, make it 4 red and just do 4 red total, you know?
Yeah.
And let it hit a player.
That'd be cool too.
But hitting a planeswalker, it's the first burn spell that said planeswalker on it, so that's cool.
Is that right? I didn't even realize that.
Or, I mean, the Magma Quake.
That's
the double X, it dealt damage to creatures and planeswalkers. So,
okay.
But this is like a card that would normally be straight to the face, you know.
And instead it's planeswalkers.
Yeah.
They're just putting in a lot of cards now, it seems like, that interact with planeswalkers.
They know that people get frustrated when they can't deal with the planeswalker except for one way, and that's to attack it. So they need to give people answers to them so that they can make powerful ones like Elspeth too.
I think so too. Alright, next is, well, we can do it in this order, I guess. Yeah. Silent Sentinel, 5 and 2 white for a 4/6 rare Archon creature, and it's got flying, and when it attacks, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Cool limited card, although a bit expensive.
Mhm.
Not much to say about it. I think it's going to be limited only just because...
It could be cool in a Reanimator build if you had enough enchantments in it, to bring back. But
yeah, you could have a lot of...
But until we see more creature enchantments, because
Yeah.
that's really what you would want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be kind of lackluster, I think. Probably really cool EDH card.
Yeah, definitely. I could agree to that. Cool with like Detention Sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Oblivion Ring.
Yeah.
Too bad that's not in right now, right?
No, Oblivion
Okay.
Ring not, but Detention Sphere is, so.
Alright. Arbiter of the Ideal, 4 and 2 blue for a 4/5 flying Inspired. And Inspired is a new mechanic from Born of the Gods. And it's whenever it becomes untapped, do an ability.
Yep.
So this one is 6 mana, 4/5 flyer, Sphinx creature, rare. And it's got Inspired. When it becomes untapped, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an artifact, creature, or land card, you may put it onto the battlefield with a manifestation counter on that. And that permanent is an enchantment in addition to its other types. So what are your opinions about this card?
I really like it. I think it's sweet. Untapping it just means that you attacked with it basically when you're a 4/5 flyer, So it's going to beat them down and potentially draw you, get you free stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I really like it.
It's probably another cool EDH card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it in like a Sharoom style deck where you really only have artifacts and lands in your deck anyway. It does suck that you can't manifest an enchantment off of it though.
I see. You're right.
Because it gives them the enchantment type in addition.
Yeah.
I think that's why they limited it.
Well, is this a cycle? Is that why they're all lined up like this?
They're not a cycle, but these are the pre-release promos.
Oh, okay.
But these are the intro pack arts. So these are not what the pre-release arts will be.
I see. Eater of Hope, 7 mana, 6/4 black demon creature. And it's also rare. It's got flying, 1 black, sacrifice another creature, regenerate him, and then 2 and a black, sacrifice 2 other creatures, destroy target creature. Well, I'd say the regening him is kind of cool, but sacking 2 other creatures to destroy 1 creature doesn't seem that good.
No.
So he seems a bit overpriced. A little bit curious why they didn't just make it 2 and a black, sack a creature, destroy target creature.
Right.
Giving it just, what is it, blood splinters? Or blood,
bone splinters, yeah.
Just giving it bone splinters would have been fine. Even making it 1 mana seems not out of the question.
Yeah.
If you have to sack a creature.
That was what attrition was. It was a 2 black, 1 colorless enchantment, 1 black, sack a creature, destroy target non-black creature. So it might be because it's destroy target creature that you have to sack an additional 1.
Could have been a 6/6. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think he's weak. He's
pretty
really
underpowered. Yeah, he seems underpowered for his price, but still, in limited, getting the regen.
Regen is really good with a 6/4 body
Yeah.
to it.
So I guess it's still playable in limited, definitely. Forge Stoker Dragon, 6 mana, 5/4 flying, rare dragon, 1 and a red. It deals 1 damage to target creature. That creature can't block this combat. Activate this ability only if Forge Stoker Dragon is attacking. That's kind of cool. I like the idea of getting your guys through. So this will be highly playable and limited, I would think. It's a cool card.
Yeah, I like that one.
And then we've got the green one, Nessian Wild's Ravager. 6 mana, 6/6. Tribute 6. This is the other new mechanic from Born of the Gods. As this creature enters the battlefield, an opponent of your choice may place 6 +1/+1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, if tribute wasn't paid, you may have it fight another target creature. That's kind of cool. So it's either a 6 mana 12/12 or a 6 mana 6/6.
Fight a guy when he comes in.
And the player who played him gets the choice. right?
No, your opponent gets to choose which version you get. But like if they have the guy out there and you're playing your 6-drop, you're probably gonna kill him or like kill their guy. I mean,
You don't get to control it, really?
the tribute they pay the tribute or they don't,
Oh, yeah. But
but you choose the target.
yeah, definitely. That's what I
Okay.
meant. So if
Oh,
they
okay. Yeah.
if they don't tribute it, you get to fight whatever
Yeah.
you want,
hmm
you know? So both of those modes seem really good. I think he's definitely going to be a powerhouse limited card.
Yeah, I think so too. He out of all of them, I think I like the blue, the red, and the green one the most.
I guess it depends what kind of spot removal we're looking at. If there's
Well, Hero's Downfall is still around for standard, and it'll be in the pre-release too. Actually, you'll probably get 3 boosters of Theros and 3 of Born.
Yeah, but I'm also curious about this set. What kind of black and, white and red removal are we going to see?
Mm-hmm.
There's already so much, so now are they going to be like laying back on it? Did they anticipate having this much good removal in the format right now?
Yeah, because I suppose Chain to the Rocks and Hero's Downfall are like the catch-alls for, the first set.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this.
This looked like it was a big drop here of cards. Let's start right at the top here. Fated Intervention. 2 and 3 green instant spell. It's a rare. Put 2 3/3 green centaur enchantment creature tokens onto the battlefield. If it's your turn, scry 2. So 5 mana for 6 power, 6 toughness. And if it's your turn, scry 2. And it's an instant speed, potentially. So surprise blockers.
Mm-hmm.
I like this card.
Yeah.
This card's cool. It's definitely limited playable. Question is, constructed playable because you get into turn creatures? Maybe. This could be what the Simic Flash deck that we were talking about.
I was just thinking, actually, yeah.
We're talking about the Horizon Chimera
Mm-hmm.
and Boon Satyr and whatever other.
Shamble Shark. Shamble Shark would benefit greatly from this because a Shamble Shark
can get
into
double.
this would be double evolve. And you could do Shamble Shark on their end step, then play Fated Intervention on your turn.
And scry 2.
And scry 2, yeah.
I like it. It's cool.
I really like that card, yeah.
Maybe the Simic deck is something we should brew up or look at.
Definitely.
Kira's Follower. Green and a blue 2/2 Merfolk. And then it's got untap another target permanent. That's cool. I like it. So a little bit more color intensive than Voyaging Satyr, but you get another power.
Untaps any permanent too.
So you can hit your creatures too if you have an activated ability that's...
Or inspired.
Yeah. So cool card. I like that for limited. Epiphany Storm. 1 red aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has red, tap, discard a card, draw a card. So the only reason I like this card for limited, because Heroic is very strong. We found, at least in Theros, Heroic has been very strong. It also is definitely coming back in this set. There are spoilers of creatures that have it. But Jake, you were saying, actually, you're not sure yet if they're going to bring Monstrosity into this?
Yeah, we haven't seen a Monstrosity card yet, and Tribute seems to run in the same vein as Monstrosity. So I'm wondering if they didn't just replace Monstrosity with Tribute. But I guess they might have even confirmed it at this point, but it looks like Tribute is taking that place.
Okay. Anyway, Epiphany Storm, definitely playable because of Heroic, but how is it outside of that? It's really good alongside any inspired creature. So something a little bit more combo-ish in limited is not that difficult. You find the rare that has Inspire, and then you get to pick up Epiphany Storms late, I'm sure. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, I really like that card.
Afara, God of the... How do you pronounce that? Polis? Alright, so this is the new generation of gods. What was our guess on the last podcast to what we thought they were going to do for the gods? We thought it was going to be...
I was pretty sure they were going to try and spin on devotion to reduce the cost and make them more gigantic cost. But they have done the reduction or the increase in amount of devotion and done combined devotion.
Yeah. So
And
kind of
eliminated the activated ability.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So they've gotten rid of an ability, like the Theros gods all had 2 abilities, whereas this only has 1, but it's still indestructible and has, is very efficient when it's a creature.
Yeah.
So this one is 4 mana, 6/5 indestructible, and it's the blue-white. And as long as your devotion to white and blue is less than 7, it isn't a creature. And at the beginning of each upkeep, if you add another creature into the battlefield under your control last turn, draw a card. So it's kind of cool. Doesn't seem amazing though, and the reason is you still have to be playing a creature-heavy deck to really reap benefits of it.
She
And
doesn't
it's in
check
colors.
herself either, which is, I think, one of the most disappointing aspects of it. But I understand why, because she's a god. But you don't even get to draw a card off of playing her, on turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to work really hard to get your 7 devotion by turn 4, you wouldn't even get immediate payoff of her ability. You'd have to wait a full another turn.
Could you play, I'm trying to think, you could play like Precinct Captain, Boros Reckoner, Afara, or something.
I think it's good for an
Night
aggressive
Veil
deck.
Spectre.
Yeah, I think it is good for an aggressive deck.
It does.
Because it lets you rebuild,
Mm-hmm.
So when you start drawing your creatures again, you can play and draw more creatures, hopefully.
And it's under your control last turn, too, which is interesting. So it's not like at your end step draw for each creature or something, or,
Yeah.
You have to wait.
It should have been at the beginning of each end step.
It's slow.
Yeah. It's a slow trip, yeah. You have to wait.
So I don't think this is going to see much play because of that. It definitely seems like they've toned them down because they're the 2-color thing.
And they are easier to get their devotion online because they are 2-color.
Yeah. And Night Veil Spectre and Boros Reckoner works with this
equally
one.
well with it.
Yeah. Painseer, next. 1 and a black, 2/2 human wizard creature, also a rare. It's got Inspired. When it becomes untapped, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's converted mana cost. This card wishes it was Bob. It is not, unfortunately. You have to find a way to tap it. So it would be cool to see something that had Inspired and a tap ability. Maybe there is. Eventually.
Yeah, actually.
It's possible.
It looks more like they just gave the tools to give your guys a tap ability. Since attacking is already a really easy way to tap your guys, None of them have been like crappy really that we've seen, like 2/2 for 2, 2/2 for 2.
I mean, Painseer, I could actually see it being playable in an aggressive deck.
That's what I was thinking, is its actual home. Bob was never played in control,
Yeah, but Bob's definitely better. But if you can, I mean, with a bunch of spot removal, you can still be killing stuff and getting in.
This isn't like a legacy playable Bob, but this is definitely a standard playable Bob. I mean, Bob was obviously standard playable, but this one is, I think, still good.
Even alongside like Devour Flesh, just a cheap removal. Still get in, they gain the life, whatever, but you get to draw another card. So if you can find a way to beat in with this, it's really the only way to play it.
I think black-red with this is actually okay.
I was thinking combo-ish, like this made me think how many other cards give an activated ability.
Well, they are reprinting Springleaf Drum, so you can at least tap any inspired creature to generate 1 mana.
That's true. That's really good with Painseer, actually. Find the Springleaf Drums. Find the I like the Epiphany Storm with the Painseer. Tap, discard, draw, and then you get to draw again. So maybe it's more playable than I initially thought. I guess I just instantly compare it to Bob and
Well, you have to.
and am disappointed.
Mhm.
All right, uh, Farragax Giant, 5 mana, 3/3 tribute 2. So tribute is just always +1/+1 counters, or
Yeah.
okay,
Tribute and number, so it's similar to monstrosity in that way.
okay. As this creature enters the battlefield, opponent of your choice may place 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So it's a 5 mana, 3/3, potentially 5/5, or when it enters the battlefield, if its tribute wasn't paid, it deals 5 damage to each opponent. So both options are pretty good for a common.
Hmm.
It's a 5 mana 5/5, or it's a 5 mana deal 5 damage to each opponent. So not that bad. I don't think it's highly playable just because 5 seems a bit expensive, but
It is, yeah.
it's playable.
I mean, it's not Great Merchant of Asphodel, like which is obviously made it into
I would say
standard and stuff.
most of the time you're going to get a 5/5 out of
Yeah,
it.
I would say so too, which is fine in red.
But maybe sometimes they can afford to take 5, and then you only get a 3/3. So I don't like that about it. But I think in a pinch, in the right deck,
I think more often than not, your opponent is scared to take 5 and will rather give you a 5/5.
I don't think it'll see much limited play either.
Yeah.
But if you're short on playables, it's still a playable card. It's just not very much.
Tribute is shaping up to be a little bit of a letdown because of the way that it works.
Although we've got one coming up.
Mhm.
Looks real good.
Yeah, that's true.
Oresco's Sun Guide is the next card. It's a 1 and a white 2/2 cat monk common creature. It's got inspired. When it becomes untapped, you gain 2 life. Kind of a cool card. Doesn't quite have lifelink, but it's also more efficiently costed than a Johnny Sunstriker.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
I like it.
I think
It's
it's
fine.
totally playable and limited.
Hmm.
The next one's Everflame Eidolon, 1 and a red, 1/1. This is the first bestow creature we've seen in Born of the Gods so far. It's an enchantment creature spirit. And it's got bestow for 2 and a red. And so it's a 2 mana 1/1 with 1 and a red. Everflame Eidolon gets +1/+0, so fire breathing. And if it's an aura, it's fire breathing for the creature instead. And enchanted creature gets +1/+1. So very odd wording on it.
They have to do odd wording on all of the bestow creatures that give activated abilities, though. Unfortunately.
And this is as clean as it's gonna get. I mean, if we look at the listed cards or whatever.
Yeah, they're like a nightmare to read now.
Yep. But if this is the standardized wording they're gonna do, I'll accept it. Anyway, the card, I think it's good. Like we said, heroic. Heroic is good. And 3 bestow is probably some of the cheapest we've seen.
Yeah. Is it? Is it actually the cheapest?
I want to say
I think it is. Leaf Crown, I think, was the cheapest, right?
Yeah, for 4.
Or Hopeful Eidolon was 4 also. So yeah, these are cheap.
I think that's the cheapest.
No wonder it's uncommon.
Nyxborn Shieldmate, 1 white, 1/2, bestow for 2 and a white, and enchanted creature gets +1/+2. So still cheap, and seems pretty good to me.
Unholy Strength that becomes a walking Unholy Strength or Holy Strength.
Yeah. I mean, both those cards you're probably just going to be playing for bestow. I'd be hard pressed to see a situation where you want to play it as a creature, unless you have a mint full of other auras or something that you need to bust. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to play it out early so that you can get more auras on it if you're in a more aggressive deck.
Yeah, get your turn to order of whatever.
I like having another 1-drop enchantment creature, though, to go into an ethereal armor deck.
Yeah, definitely. I really like that they did it with the Hopeful Eidolon. You get a second turn. It's like Nip Gwillen all over again.
With Divine or Edge of the Divinity or whatever.
Yeah, except that has first strike in addition. So it's even better than Nip Gwillen, isn't it?
Maybe I'm thinking of it wrong. Edge of the Divinity is...
+2.
Divinity of Pride, yeah. No, it's +2/+1 and +1/+2. It was the only one that gave +3/+3 together.
So it's definitely better than the Nip Gwillen thing. You get a 3/3 lifelink first strike. That's kind of cool. Anyway, I think both of those cards going to be highly playable for heroic decks, or in general, they're decent. Sky Reaping, 1 and a green sorcery, It deals damage to each creature with flying equal to your devotion to green. It's kind of cool, actually. I like the idea of this for sideboard and limited. Not necessarily constructed playable, a little bit too reliant.
It is the first spell we've seen that has devotion, like effect based on devotion.
Okay, that's good. Ashiok's Adept. 2 and a black, 1/3 human wizard. It's an uncommon. Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Ashiok's Adept, each opponent discards a card. It seems okay, actually. It doesn't seem terrible. I feel like that's playable in limited. That could be punishing with a bestow spell pretty bad in the right situation. I feel like by the time you do it on turn 4, they're probably down to 2 or 3 cards left in hand.
Yeah.
Possibly, maybe 4, but that can be punishing. I could see that.
It's a fine body too, you know, like 3 toughness is good. So, I don't know. I think it's a okay card.
I've just come to like Heroic a lot, so I think it's doable. Like this, if you play it with with the Theros ones, putting like a Dragon Mantle on it seems really good. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I draw, you discard. So any of the other cantrip ones.
What's the black cantrip? +1/+0? So even that's fine on it.
Definitely.
Draw, discard, +1/+0.
What's the white one again? What's 0/2?
Yeah, so that's even fine too, actually.
Yeah.
The blue one is draw 2 if the creature dies, so draw 1 when it comes out, draw 1 if it dies.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So I think heroic strategies could be the way to go if it's anything like Theros. Next we have Archetype of Imagination. 6 mana, 3/2, enchantment creature, human wizard, uncommon. Creatures you control have flying, so it's got levitation. And then creatures your opponents control lose flying and can't have or gain flying. Why does it say can't have or gain?
Because an enchantment, or I mean, an aura or an equipment would say has flying. So that would be can't have it.
And what's the gain?
Gain would be instant, like jump. I can't gain flying until end of turn.
Okay.
Or permanently, I guess.
It's kind of cool. It's funny. It's weird that it's a creature.
Yeah, I think it's either speculated or confirmed that it's actually a cycle. But I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I really don't know. I think it might be a speculation at this point because
I actually like it for limited quite a bit because it's like your guys are suddenly unblockable.
Right. Like totally unblockable. You know, you lose flying too.
So, and it gets flying itself, so it's pretty cool. I mean, otherwise it definitely seems overpriced. 6 mana, 2 toughness is never ideal.
Right.
But I could totally see this being played as a finisher in limited. Oh, my guys are unblockable.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
Yeah, I have nothing to win. Oh, never mind. Play this.
I'm interested in maybe trying it. Next we've got Tromo Kratos. 7 mana, 8/8, legendary Kraken creature. It's a rare. And it has hexproof unless it's attacking or blocking. And it can't be blocked unless all creatures defending player controls block it. What do you think?
It's good.
I like the picture on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's unblockable if any of their creatures are tapped. Like.
Oh, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or like if one of them can't block for like if their ability says they can't block.
And it has hexproof right away when you play it, which is it's kind of cool.
Like if they have one unleashed guy, then
they can't
block it. Yeah. So I really do think this card is cool.
Or even if you play like detain spells, you could play like the two drop blue one that
draws you a card too. Boink. Yeah, you could. I really like that ability. Actually, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't ever been done before. I almost would have rather it been on a blue and green creature. You know, since green wants all their creatures to block.
And have hexproof too.
Yeah.
I always feel like hexproof. To me, hexproof feels more green than blue.
And with Kiora in the set, I feel like this could have been blue-green also because of that. But I really do like it, you know.
Cool card.
Yep.
Fanatic of Xenagos. So this is the spell we were talking about, the creature that has a pretty awesome tribute ability. So it's a 3 mana 3/3 trample, uncommon Centaur warrior, and it's got tribute 1. So your opponent may put a +1/+1 counter on it, or if the tribute cost wasn't paid, it gets +1/+1 and haste until end of turn. So you either get to attack for 4 haste, or it's a 4/4 trampler. Either way, it's got trample. So I really like this card. I think this is actually constructed playable.
I think it's very, 3/3 trample for 3 is good, and then the fact that it's either a 4/4 for 1 turn and it has haste, or a 4/4 permanently, I think it's really good.
Either one's good, and I like Gorkland Rampager, so that's going to be cool alongside this Burning Tree Emissary as well. You can do something
This is a
pretty
great
aggressive.
Gruul card, yeah.
Excited to see that played. Next we've got another god, Mogus, God of Slaughter. 2 a black and a red for a 7/5. He's obviously a mythic. He's indestructible. As long as your devotion of black and red is less than 7, he isn't a creature. And then at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, it deals 2 damage to that player unless he or she sacrifices a creature. So we're saying almost a shock every turn, but they can get around it. So what are your feelings about this card? I think we were both a bit underwhelmed, but I think as a finisher it is it's something a heavy removal that could do.
I think it's really good against control, obviously, because just shocking them every turn is good. But you know, I just don't know if aggro's not afraid of this card.
Not being able to play it in multiples kind of sucks. This would have been a card where if it wasn't legendary, it would have been cool to get a bunch of them out to like just burn them out, you know?
Yeah.
But just on its own, it doesn't quite seem like it's gonna get there in a timely manner.
Yeah. I'm a little underwhelmed with it, you know. He's not my favorite.
So these are the only one more has been spoiled. Xenagos has been spoiled too, but I was gonna say of all the gods, I guess he impresses the most, but we're not at him yet. So next is Hero of Iroas. 1 and a white, 2/2, human soldier. It's a rare. Aura spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and it's got heroic whenever you cast a spell that targets him, put a +1/+1 counter on him.
Bomb limited card for sure.
Definitely.
And Buck thinks that this might make heroic playable in standard.
There might be enough heroic creatures now. I'm actually not sure.
Well, playing this and then playing 2 or 3 ordeals on it on the following turn, you know, something like that, is really good. Ethereal armor, you know.
What's the, I can't think of the name now, the white card from Theros for 3 that gives 2 creatures +2/+2?
Dauntless,
Onslaught?
yeah, Dauntless Onslaught, I think.
So that would be cool for 2 mana, plus second order.
Dauntless Onslaught's an instant, though. Not an aura, right? So.
Oh, you're right.
So you need to, like,
all the order spells, then, I guess, being 1 mana is pretty cool.
And, like,
Bestow creatures.
if you play 2 auras, like 2 ordeals on him the following turn, you'll get them both triggered that turn, you know? So, whatever you want to be white blank, you know, white X, you could be white red and be playing Ordeal of Heliod and Ordeal of Perforos. And I think blasting something for 3 damage is pretty good.
Does this make bestow creatures cheaper if you're not bestowing them?
No.
Okay.
They aren't auras unless they're being bestowed.
Okay.
But it should work with them as bestow creatures. Or as bestow auras, I mean.
Pretty cool then.
Yeah.
Still staying in the theme of the white heroic creatures from Theros, where they get the +1/+1 counter on them. Fabled Hero had it, and the Wingsteed Rider, and
Favored Hoplite, and Phalanx Captain, right?
Yeah, they all
were +1/+1.
And the green creatures did it too. Centaur Battle. They had Staunch Hearted Warrior, Centaur Battlemaster. I feel like there's one more, I just can't think of it. Maybe not. Flame Wreathed Phoenix is the next one. 2 and 2 red for a 3/3 flying tribute 2. And if they don't pay the tribute, it gains haste, and when this creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. So 4 mana 5/5 flyer, or 4 mana 3/3 haste. When it dies, return it to its owner's hand. Both of those are pretty good in my mind.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Is this constructed playable? I'm not sure. They still get the choice, but both of these options are pretty good. Is 4 mana 3/3 haste not good enough?
It does fly. I mean,
It does come back if it dies.
yeah,
If that happens.
I
too.
think it depends on the situation, you know, and that's the problem maybe with it, because if they have the removal for it, they'll just make it the 5/5, you know.
Mhm.
And I suppose if they don't, they'll just let you have the 3/3. But it seems, I don't know. That's 6 damage over the course of 2 turns, or they could take 5 damage over the course of 2 turns. And they would take 9 damage over the course of 3, or 10 over the course of 3. So, I don't know. I almost feel like it's always best to tribute this one if you're playing against it.
Unless you have a
Unless you have,
Stormbreath Dragon.
yeah, unless you have a creature that's on board that can kill it only at 3, you know.
And actually, Desecration Demon's still highly played, so that
Yeah.
this doesn't do anything against that either way.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, actually.
Something to keep in mind, especially since
Well,
Desecration
then they
Demon's
would
highly
just
played.
yeah, they would just tribute it then, because
Mhm.
if they didn't, then you could sack it to it every turn, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So that's going to be a weakness until Desecration Demon's gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um,
So buy them now because they're mythic.
well,
So
depends on what the prices are.
Yeah.
Alright, let's reveal Xenagos, God of Revels. It's 5 mana. It's the green-red god. It's a 6/5 indestructible, and as long, the devotion less than 7. And at the beginning of your beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and gets +X/+X until end turn, where X is that creature's power. So kind of cool. Pre-combat, play a fatty like Polychronos, attack for 10 haste. Could see that being pretty strong.
Yeah. Xenagos is my favorite god so far. That
Also, keep in mind that you can play this, go to combat, and you get its ability. So, also kind of cool. It's like at least a buff spell for a creature the turn you play it, and then the next turn it's a hasty generator for future creatures.
Does he feel more like a god of slaughter to you than Mogus?
Which one? Oh, the black-red one. I don't know. I think this
ability is definitely in green-red, but
it feels like it works with even the Blood Rush thing. The same sort of idea of pumping the creature, not like interacting with the ability.
No, I know.
So that's kind of cool. A little versatile.
Yeah, it is good. I really like Xenagos.
So far, definitely the best one revealed.
We have 2 more left, and it's the blue-black and the white-green that haven't been spoiled.
Is that right? White-green. Okay. Next card is Searing Blood. It's kind of a crazy picture. It's like a hand with the
lava
ooze coming out of it, or I don't know. 2 red, instant, uncommon. It deals 2 damage to target creature, and when that creature dies this turn, Searing Blood deals 3 damage to the creature's controller. Ragemonger, 3 mana, 2/3 Minotaur Shaman. Minotaur spells you cast cost black and a red less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you pay. What do we think about Ragemonger? How many black-red
that's just
Minotaurs are there?
Rage. There's Cragmaw Warcaller.
Okay.
And I think that so far is the only other one other than Ragemonger.
Well, that one actually does work well with this one. Yeah, I mean, it works well with itself, so that's kind of cool. Are we going to see a Minotaur?
Cost reduction things are always like
wishy-washy?
Yeah, I think Edgewalker was the same,
Getting a 2 mana 4/2 haste is kind of cool.
Off of
the 3-drop 2/2.
Oh, just getting in for 2 mana instead.
And attacking for 4.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, all of the Minotaurs are clearly much better when they cost 1 or 2 mana, you know.
Yeah, they all, yeah, it's true. They're all like 3 and above.
Hmm
It's kind of the issue. I don't know why I skipped over the explanation of Searing Blood.
Oh.
It deals 2 damage to a creature, and when that creature...
No, I thought you...
I read it, but we didn't really talk about it.
Oh, okay.
When that creature dies this turn, it deals 3 damage to the creature's controller. I mean, it's very close to Searing Blaze.
hmm
I think the major issue is it's not dealing with important creatures in the format right now. We were saying it's good alongside like Ash Zealot and other first strike creatures, but
I mean, you're already red heavy if you're double red to cast this, so...
I mean, it is cool that...
It might just be a sideboard card, though.
I mean, it's cool that when the creature dies this turn, so you can play it at a point and, you know, maybe draw into a piece of removal or something. And
Well, you can do it, like, against their board wipe that's going to wipe one of their creatures, or something like that.
yeah,
too.
you're right. That's the important one. So that's kind of cool because it's instant. So it's actually a way to maybe
Like,
burn them out for the
yeah,
win.
deal that 3 damage to them or whatever.
Yeah. But overall, not a great card.
Yeah, I do wonder why they wanted it to be double red at uncommon.
They could have gotten away with a red and a
Colorless,
colorless.
I think.
Is there a 2-drop version of Lunge
Mm-mm.
or anything like
It's
that? Or...
Lunge and Searing Blaze. And Searing Blaze's stipulation was so much easier to get, though. Or Searing... What was it, Blaze? Searing Blaze?
Yeah.
Landfalls seemed so much easier to achieve than making sure the creature died, you know?
But overall, decent card.
Yeah,
Like you
I
said,
think
probably
time will tell.
sideboard only. Let's go to Mind Reaver. 2 blue for a 2/1 rare human wizard. It's got heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets him, exile the top 3 cards of target player's library. What do you think about this?
Excuse me. It's so similar to Grimoire Thief. I can't stop thinking about how close it is. And Grimoire Thief was so much easier to activate.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and it had the... This also has 2 and sacrifice it counter target spell at the same
Yeah,
time as a card
Grimoire
exiled with
Thief,
him. Okay. So that's kind
You
of cool.
flipped over, you exile them face down, and then you flip them over and you countered all the spells on the stack with the same name as any of those cards revealed.
This will be limited playable, probably, because you get to exile their library a little bit. So.
I think it's good if there's a mill strategy available.
Yeah.
Fennex, we don't know what he does, but he's blue-black. He could be mill.
And sometimes just getting rid of, just being a heroic guy that you can enchant onto that gets rid of bombs out of their deck could be good. Not amazing, but
no, it's true.
Decent.
I think that's a very good point because it is exile them too. You're not even letting them dig them out of their graveyard or anything like that.
As far as Enlightenment, 1, a white and a blue. It's an aura, and when enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. They have flying, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under control, you can return a Far's Enlightenment to its owner's hand. So that's kind of cool. I like this for limited. Multiple heroic generation seems really strong and getting evasion, so I think this will definitely be a
heroic one for sure.
Yep, highly limited playable card.
Heroic, I think, yeah.
Champion of Stray Souls, 6 mana, 4/4 skeleton warrior, mythic. Kind of a crazy picture.
Yeah.
3 and 2 black, tap, sack X other creatures, return X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, and 7 mana, put Champion of Stray Souls on top of your library from your graveyard. Kind of cool. I definitely think it's awesome for
EDH.
Commander.
It's clearly made there.
I could see a combo deck maybe doing something weird with it.
I don't like 4/4 skeletons.
Doesn't feel right.
I always feel like skeletons are the easiest undead to dismantle.
Seems a bit overpriced for a mythic. I think they could have gotten away with him at 5. But I don't know why this is 7.
Yeah.
They could have done 5/5/5 and it would have been okay. You know? Maybe even 5 mana 5/5 with 5/5.
Yeah, they really differentiated the costs for no reason. 5 mana 5/5 might have been too good, maybe.
At Mythic, I was just thinking, but maybe 5 mana 5/4.
Maybe it wouldn't be too good. No drawback in black. I don't know.
But overall, this card, I'm interested to see maybe a combo deck that comes up with some sort of self-mill crazy plan. Can make that work.
Yeah, but
Just
you
a
have to have
heavy creature.
creatures
You just
out.
have to heavy creature deck.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. We'll see.
Ari Worshippers, 3 and a blue, 2/4, human cleric uncommon. It's got inspired. You can pay 2 and a blue, and if you do, you get a 2/2 blue bird enchantment creature token with flying. Seems pretty good to me. I like that it's got 4 toughness, so you can even attack in sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Getting birds for getting free value off of it seems good. So I like it. Definitely going to be limited playable. Forlorn Sudama, 4 mana, 2/1, intimidate zombie, and it's got inspired. You get a 2/2. You do the same thing as blue one, 2 and a black instead, and you get a 2/2 black zombie enchantment creature token. I like the intimidate. This one actually seems. I understand why they gave it the 1 toughness, because you get to keep bashing in with it.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's going to be highly limited playable.
Yeah.
I think
That
that's
one
just
is really good.
good value. God Favored General, 1 and a white, 1/1, human soldier, uncommon. It's got inspired, 2 and a white. When it becomes untapped, put 2 1/1 white soldier enchantment creature tokens on. So
I kind of feel like a general should have more power and toughness than that.
he could have been a 2/2. I think it's strange they didn't make him a 2/2.
Yeah,
At least.
even 2/1.
Yeah. So maybe it's just because it's so much cheaper than these two. They really felt like they had to be careful with it.
I guess, I mean, you do get 2 guys back. And inspired doesn't necessarily mean you attacked with it. So that should be something we keep in mind, too.
Combo-ish,
Yeah.
potentially. Let's do the next in this cycle. Ferris Bandrider, 6 mana, 5/5, Centaur Warrior. And it's got inspired, 2 and a green. You get a 3/3 green Centaur enchantment creature token. This one seems cool for limited.
Mm-hmm.
5/5 is a pretty huge body. It's a little bit expensive, but it's a good ability. And then we've got Satyr Nick Smith, which is 2 and a red, 2/1 haste. And it's got inspired 2 and a red. You get a 3/1 red elemental enchantment creature token with haste. So I told Jake I really like this one alongside like Cacklers and Spike Jesters, even Fire Drinker Satyrs. Keep with your Satyr theme, Satyr Shaman theme.
Necessary.
But Spike Jester getting in for 3. So you could do turn 1 Satyr or Cackler, turn 2 Spike Jester, get in for 5, and then turn 3 Satyr Nick Smith, get in for 7, and then turn 4 you can pay 2 and a red, get another hasty guys, attack for 10. So you've dealt over 20 by turn 4, plus you have 4 attackers.
It's kind of funny that they felt the need to create an elemental enchantment creature token when I feel like they could have just gone with a 3/1 Satyr enchantment creature token, you know? Because I don't know if that looks weird to you, but seeing the night sky in a fiery elemental doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, you know?
The night sky here.
But, no, here.
Oh, I see.
Just looks weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're. Is that the night sky? I didn't even
That's
realize
what,
that.
like, they're all part of the night sky. That's what makes them enchantments.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, I just feel like they should have done a satyr instead, because at least that is, you know, something that would have shadow on its body, whereas a flaming thing that's giving off a lot of light itself would probably not.
Okay. Well, I can get behind that. Flavorfully a little bit weird.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good card. I'm just nitpicking the art.
I mean, maybe, like you said, better in some matches. Maybe a better sideboard card against control-y decks that don't run many creatures.
Yeah.
So you don't have to commit as much.
Like I said to you earlier, I really do think this is a good follow-up to Supreme Verdict. You know.
Yep.
To just keep putting more guys out and not have to commit more than your 2/1 haste.
I like it. Drown in Sorrow, 1 and 2 black sorcery. All creatures get -2/-2 until end turn. Scry 1. Pretty cool. That's Infest, but better.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I think that
Time
about
for an
sums it
upgrade.
up.
Time for an upgrade?
Yeah. It's gonna be really good for
Mono
Black Devotion. Yeah.
That's too bad.
Well, it kills 2 pack rats at once, also.
Yeah.
You know, which is notable.
Mhm.
So, yeah. I mean, I thought the same thing. I was like, well, Mono Black really didn't need the extra help, but thank God they didn't reprint like Damnation or create a new Mono Black destroy all creatures.
True. Let's getting close to wrap this up. Fated Retribution, 7 mana, so 4 and 3 white, instant, destroy all creatures and planeswalkers. If it's your turn, scry 2. Is this playable because it's instant or not?
I think it could be a sideboard card if you're playing control and you're playing against mono black, or you're playing against another control deck where they have their guys out, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what situation it's great for. It's best in EDH.
Yeah.
When you can go, okay, before my
instant
turn.
speed. Yeah, that's true. So I guess this is pretty much reserved for EDH only. Alright, well,
That's
I guess
every card anyway.
that's it for all the spoilers. So let's go to Weird Harvest, but I have to find my...
Bumpers?
I need my music. Somewhere around here. I have to put it up.
Weird Harvest.
Nice.
Kind of wild.
A little bit loud. Goblin Test Pilot. So we felt like we've been doing a lot of older cards. It's time to make
They're
fun
so
of.
easy.
It's time to make fun of some of the new ones. Goblin Test Pilot, you can tell, was at least made in good spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was obviously a funny card. Maybe you should say the story of Mark Rosewater or whatever.
Well, this is what I heard. I'm not quite sure. I read it on a forum somewhere, but someone said that Mark Rosewater had said when he made the card that he fell asleep during a design meeting and woke up and then made the card. So, like, to give you an idea of how much thought this card took to make, I guess.
It's 1, a blue and a red for a 0/2 Flying Goblin Wizard. It's an uncommon. And it has tap. Goblin Test Pilot deals 2 damage to target creature or player chosen at random. Unfortunately, in my opinion, not even playable in limited.
It's a fun card. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever get the chance to play it casually or whatever, it could be really fun for you.
I just wish it was a 1/2.
Yeah.
And then it would have actually been
useful. You could fly with it, but he can't see where he's going. Like, we have to remember that.
Alright, so let's talk about the picture. First, the name, Goblin Test Pilot. You just immediately...
That's already a home run. I really like Goblin Test Pilot.
If you know the flavor of what the card is, it's like a crash test dummy almost.
Yeah, basically. They're expendable. They're expendable dummies. Yeah.
And then the picture is this very gleeful looking goblin. Except he's got this, like, visor that he can't even see through over his eyes. And I'm trying to look at his clothing a little bit closer. It's tough to see.
Yeah.
Just, is it clothing? It's like almost
It
like
looks
nobility robes or something.
Well, that's just the way are clothed. Almost like Harlequin-like, I guess. I don't know. But they always have, like, the gauntlets and the baubles and stuff like that. It looks like there's guns on his visor, like cannons on his visor and cannons on his back too, which might actually be the prototype that the flavor text is talking about, along with like the stand that he's riding on, because he's literally surfing in the air. It doesn't look like there's a steering apparatus. He's just on that machine and just going where it wills him, I suppose.
So someone else is probably controlling.
Yeah, it could very well be that
That's cool.
It could be that the machine is actually controlled by a weird, that like the machine itself under him is a weird, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean the card's dumb. The card's funny.
It's funny
because it's not even playable in limited, really. But I would actually love to add this card to my crap draft.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool crap draft card.
I think it's a great crap draft card. I think this is the perfect place. Or that would be the perfect place.
Because not only is it weird colors that they'd have to try and fix for, but it can't kill their opponent, and
it can.
Yeah, or it kills itself, which is my favorite thing about
I know. I really do. I actually really think this would be a really gratifying card to win with, you know, or to do something at least once with.
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to just do a spreadsheet of all the cards we currently have in Craft Draft, and that would be a cool thing to get from the audience, is more suggestions for what they want to see in a Craft Draft.
What's the rating like in the discussion?
I'm sure it's
rating?
low.
Oh,
2.071. I'm sure we'll read some funny stuff on it, but I think we actually have to sign off for today. But I hope you enjoyed all the spoilers. At SeemsGoodMagic, follow us on Twitter. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm usually doing streaming. I might miss tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I definitely missed Tuesday because I was out of town. Other than that, check out SeemsGoodMagic.com. Follow us on Twitter, like I said, and we're gonna have more. We're gonna have plenty of Born of the Gods spoilers for you. How big is the set? 165. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a lot more for you over the next couple weeks here, so stay tuned for that.
Still got 2 gods to go.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. See you later, guys.